Welcome to Tranquilly Coding. This is our 8th video of the series of creating a country code picker using Jetpack Compose. So I did a little refactoring. I collected all the UIs that we created for this library and packed into a Kotlin file called ccpc components, and I make all these little composables internal so that they can't be accessed directly except for this package, because we actually don't need them elsewhere except for this place. So other than that, we have our dialog, our bottom sheet, our data, and the utils. So in this video we're going to create the main view that will be presented in the main UI. So let's create that file. So we are going to name it country code picker. Let's pass some basic parameters. We're gonna customize it later with more, but let's just pass some basics so that we can work on the UI. We're going to pass a country. So by default we're passing the country Bangladesh. We can leave it blank as well, so that you must pass a country to this parameter, but I'm just going to add a country and then the country list. So for this one I'm using all the countries, all the entries that we have. You can pass any custom list, but we're going to have all of this together. So if you don't pass anything for this parameter, it will have all the countries that is available in the library. Then we're going to add a and we added another parameter that is on country selected, and it will return the country data. So we added a variable called country using by remember, and it is a mutable state of the selected country. So this will be useful when we pick a country using the dialog picker or the bottom sheet picker. So let's create the UI first that will look like when we are using this library in any places. So we added a row and we added a modifier that makes it clickable, and that will address this variable speaker open. So right now we added a text to show the country ISO or maybe country code, but right now we need some variables that need to be passed to the constructor of this function, so we can customize the view as we want. So first is show flag. So this will be a boolean, show country ISO possibly, yes. The country code will always be there. We always need the country code, or that can be optional as well if we want, but for now we're gonna use that. So first we're going to do is first place the emoji, then the country code, and then a arrow icon, and if the user wants the ISO, we can place it somewhere in between. And in cases like, for example, it is a full-size UI, on that case we can have the country name. So we have all this variable together, but by default it will show the flag and the country code, and other two, the ISO and name, this will be optional because it won't be useful in all of the cases, but we will leave it there in cases we need them. In here the best action will be to move this UI elsewhere so that we can modify it as we like outside of this picker code. So that will separate the concern from creating the UI and using other codes to modify the UI as well. We created a new composable called country view, and we pass all of this inside this country view composable. Now we can create the UI properly with all the parameters that we need. So now let's set up the basic thing. So first is the text, and this will be used for country emoji. So we can get the country emoji from our utils get emoji flag. So first get emoji flag, and we pass the country ISO there, and that will get us the emoji flag. We need a little bit padding around all of this, so we can pass through the modifier and add padding, for example 10 dp. Okay, now the second thing is the country code or country ISO, something like that. So all of this has their condition like show flag, show country ISO, so we're going to use like that. So for the second one we need the country name, for example. Then we have the country ISO, and lastly country code. So we need space between all of this, so let's add the modifier to create that space, and the same here. And lastly we need a icon to show a drop down arrow. So this looks okay. So why we have all of this parameter? Let's add this parameter to the preview, and we can show how this parameter changes in different cases. So for example, we want to make it a whole UI, so let's get the basic one first. Show flag true, show country code true. Now if you want to show the country name, so this UI will be way bigger like this, and if you want to show the country ISO, then it will be much bigger than that. So if we want to show the country ISO, we can do a little bit adjustment here like this, and we can add some more padding to the end. So in that way we can use it as a whole view or probably a full screen view. We can make this arrow icon optional as well. So if we pass a variable here, for example show arrow icon or show arrow, and in here we can also pass show arrow. So in that way the arrow will be gone, and this view can be more reusable in lots of different cases. But by default that design we have, it is good enough to use in a situation like country picker with a text field or any other cases that you want. We can move this view to our other file, that is country code picker components, and we can just structure it as we did before. Okay, so we moved our country view to our components file so that we can keep the code little bit cleaner. So we have our country view set. We can add a little bit background to all of this by sending a parameter called background color, and we're going to apply this to the whole UI. Now we have two things. First is the dialog and second is the bottom sheet. So we're going to add show sheet, and that will be boolean, and by default it will be false. So by default the dialog will be presented, not the bottom sheet. So if show sheet equals true, we have these two conditions. One is to when the bottom sheet is true, and one is when it's not true. That means we are going to show the dialog. But all of these are going to be inside this parameter if is picker open. So if it is open, then we are going to use these two conditions. So for first we are going to set the dialog. So let's set country dialog. So country dialog has several things, modifier on dismiss request, etc. So on dismiss request we're going to close the picker, whatever picker is open. On item clicked, we're going to back the selected item. In the list of country, we're going to pass the country list, and there is several other parameters, that is divider color, item padding, text style, and modifier, but we are not going to do all of this right now. We are just going to do this, and let's test it how it works. So when we run this, if we click this one, we see it is changing perfectly, and it's working pretty fine, I will say. So now it's in the activity. Let's test it. I have added a log. So we are selecting Armenia, so selected country Armenia. We are selecting Argentina. So yeah, it's working properly as we expected. Let's test the search. Example Bangladesh. Yeah, it's showing Bangladesh. Albania. Yep, it's working there. Let's dismiss it. Dismiss clicking outside. Yes, everything seems to be working properly as we expected. Now let's test the bottom sheet. Let's add the code for bottom sheet, and we're going to add the same customization as we did for this one. And in this time, let's change it to show sheet to true. Now the bottom sheet appears, and in here, if we type something, it collapses because some customization are shown only on the preview and not inside the main code. So we will fix that. Let's test the customization as it is working or not. So it seems to be working, and it expanded when the search is going. Okay, so we can say that our basic library is done so far. All that is left is to polish it, finish it properly, then release it in GitHub, like publishing, and then setting up our repository, readme file, documentation, etc. So far we can say our most of the work is done. Now I'm going to do some refactoring in several places that I think we need. So this will be country picker dialog, this one will be country picker bottom sheet, and this will be country code picker. Okay, and this is just country, and this is our utils. So far it's good. We will add the rest of the customization in our later video. So in the next video, we're going to add all the customization that is available throughout the whole library. In the next video, we will polish our library, add all of the customization, and then we will publish it through Jetpack and test our implementation in different cases, probably fix if there is any issues or problems, and we will see from there. So this is for today. Thank you for watching Tranquilly Coding. I'll see you in the next video.